similar to logistic regression.
Logistic regression, guys. Machine learning.
Right, where suppose that you run logistic regression with gradient descent, say stochastic gradient descent, then you initialize the parameters to equal to 0 at first, and then for each iteration of stochastic gradient descent, right, you would update theta, because update this theta minus the learning rate times, times XLA. And so, sorry, here alpha is the learning rate. Nothing, this overloaded notation. This alpha has nothing to do with that alpha. But so to say that on every iteration, you're updating the parameters theta as by adding or subtracting some constant times some triple. And so kind of prove by induction.
I don't remember what we were talking about.
Every iteration, the gradient descent, you're adding
Last time on gradient descent, last thing I remember was
theta is still
Bayes naive
this was theta, it was really
approximation, Bayes Nash equilibrium.
Right, whereas here we have E, W1 down to W, and this answer that. I feel like we should have thrown these away so we don't keep haunting them.
Yes, you should throw. Always throw a marker with
so I did this theta rather than
out of work away because it messes up
this is a
other markers.
as you run logistic regression after
The
every
course has some life advice to it too. It's not just about machine learning.
training samples. And this is also true if you use batch gradient descent. If you use batch gradient descent, then the update rule is this. And so it turns out you can derive gradient descent for this machine learning algorithm as well. You can derive gradient descent to optimize W subject to this, and you can have a proof by induction, that no matter how many iterations you run gradient descent, it will always be a combination of the training samples. So that's one intuition for how you might see that assuming W is a linear combination of the training samples, is a reasonable assumption. I want to present a second set of intuitions. So this one would be easier if you're good at visualizing high-dimensional spaces, I guess.
Dude, I am very good.
Just give intuition.
I am very good at visualizing high-dimensional spaces.
So,
I just visualize. I'm good at visualization.
let's take our example just now, right? Let's say that the classifier
I even visualize that I visualize.
minus 2. Right? So
Is that something? Visualize to visualize. If you can visualize to visualize that you learned machine learning, that's when you really learn machine learning.
This is 2. And it turns out that the vector W is always at 90 degrees to the
Let's visualize that we learned machine learning.
factor.
Now every interview. Dude, you go to every fucking interview. Yeah, we have a training data set and we have a...
Is always at, wow.
Make him louder.
The vector W is always at 90
We have a
degrees.
test data set and you want to learn something.
Positive from where you predict negative.
I can do that easy. It just at that moment when he says, when the interviewer says, we have a training that I'm just waiting for that T. I say, I'm your boy. I am like machine learning. I know it. Give it to me. Intuition. I bring you intuition. I will let you visualize about your data. That's how interviews go, one after another. Google, Quant Finance. Yes, man. And then after that, emails we receive. oh, we were so pleased to have an interview with you. We are so sorry. We don't even know that it was on our side. We didn't know that you existed. We just want to talk to you forever. You should come. CEO is waiting to shake your hand. And yeah, put your fingers on our keyboard.
For this example, let's say you have
amazing, and then money.
Later we'll get to it.
Who knows how much money we are talking about? 200K, 700K. Sometimes some quants, they get 1 million out of a free course, and I'm half-ass listening, like not even half-ass, 1/10 of an ass I am listening to.
Then the decision boundary.
And it was easy. So far, what session we are? We are sessions number 7. Already I can visualize that I am done with the training set. I asked the other data engineer to send me the test data set, and I'll pass all the standards. Where should I look? Okay, here. I should pass all the... I should pass. I will pass. I will pass in my visualization. It's all passed, and that's it. That's so easy. Do you think anything remained after this? I say it's a 9-to-5 job, but I will be done by 3:30, and the rest I'm just manipulating my codes to be more effective, because at the end of the day, the last hour of the work you want to be focusing on tomorrow, right? You want to make sure that tomorrow when you show up in the workspace, you see your colleagues, work with them. You want to be, want to know that you are going to work with a clean code. So up to 3:30, I will solve the problem for Amazon, Google, whoever you want to hire me. Just comment on the link, motherfucker Zuckerberg.
Optimization problem was this.
Motherfucker Zuckerberg, and it will be fine.
Square is as small as possible.
I will consider your offer. And then after 3:30, I will start cleaning my codes for tomorrow, warming up on my training set, and what? Visualizing. And we are going to visualize tomorrow, every day. Last hour is just visualizing the next day. That's how it works.
You have as the optimization objective min of 1/2.
So wait,
so this is
omega is alpha I, yi, xi.
W.
Xi's are vectors, I guess.
Which is equal to...
Which makes omega a vector, and it can have a norm, and y subjective yit is... So this is an optimization problem from my point of view, what I see.
Xi transpose xj.
So, alright.
And I'm going to take this. So this is an inner product between xi and xj. And I'm going to use, I'm just going to write to this. Right, xi, this notation. So
is it a trace of a matrix?
Equals x transpose z is the inner product between two vectors. This is maybe another alternative notation for writing inner products. And when we derive kernels, you see that expressing your algorithm in terms of inner products between features x.
Can you write
key mathematical step
x and z
So I'm going to use this slightly different
at the same time?
Open angle brackets, close angle brackets notation to denote the inner product between two different feature vectors. So that is the optimization objective.
Let's do this first.
And then this constraint,
right.
It becomes something
now let's do this and this. Alright. And then let's do the z completely.
Times
I want to finish at the same time. Fuck.
Transpose x.
Wow, now I should slow down twice on my left.
You just multiply this out.
And now I should make the x complete.
So just to make sure the mapping is clear.
Wait, I should not slow on slowing on this part is now I should get faster on x.
Alright, so that
I want to do this. I want to do this when I hit this part. X is such a discontinuous.
And the key property we're going to use is that if you look at these two equations in terms of how we pose the optimization problem, the only place that the feature vectors appears is in this inner product.
Inner product. Feature vectors only show up in the inner product.
And it turns out, when we talk about the kernel trick, when we talk about the application of kernels, it turns out that if you can compute this very efficiently, that's when you can get away with manipulating even infinite dimensional feature vectors.
Dude!
We'll get to the...
Did you see what he said? Manipulating the inner spaces. I just said I want to manipulate my training set. Visualization works, guys. This is not bullshit. Do you think I saw this video before? No. I don't have time to watch a video twice. I visualized, and it turns out that you manipulate something.
But the reason we want to write the whole algorithm in terms of inner product is there'll be important cases where the feature vectors are 100 trillion dimensional, but you can compute it, or even infinite dimensional, but you can compute the inner product very efficiently without needing to loop over more than 100 trillion elements in an array. Right? And we'll see exactly how to do that later.
Later. I want, what the fuck?
So,
I'm gonna do this.
Alright.
Alright.
Now, it turns out that we're going to express the whole optimization algorithm in terms of these parameters alpha here, and b. So now the parameters need to, now the parameters need to optimize for our alpha. It turns out that by convention, in the way that you see support vector machines referred to, in research papers or in textbooks, it turns out there's a further simplification of that optimization problem, which is that you can simplify it to this.
To this? Okay, guys, we are taking the challenge seriously.
Again,
where's my head? Wait. What happened to my head?
But it turns out you can further simplify the optimization problem I wrote there to this.
So at the end of the day, it's an optimization problem.
Okay, you can copy this down if you want, but this is also written in the lecture notes. And by convention, this slightly simplified version of optimization problem is called the dual optimization problem. The way to simplify that optimization problem to this one, that's actually done by using convex optimization theory.
I know convex optimization. I'm telling you, I'm bored because I know this stuff already. And I actually want to forget some of them.
It's a little more complicated.
So this is Z, and this is X. Can you see what's happening here?
And so, finally, the way you train the way you make a prediction, right, is you solve for the alpha i's and maybe for b, right? So you solve this optimization problem or that optimization problem for the alpha i's, and then to make a prediction,
that's a big X.
You need to compute h of w b of x for a new test example, which is g of w transpose x plus b, right? But because of the definition of W, this
I'm
is
doing
equal
it,
to
guys.
G
No.
of
Trust me, I'm not.
that's W transpose X plus B, because this is W.
Is it okay?
So
it's more of a zeta, I guess, or
yeah,
something.
Xi and X.
I had to make a note.
And so once again, once you have stored the alphas in your computer memory, you can make predictions using just inner products again, right? So the entire algorithm, both the optimization
What if I make it easier?
as well as how you make predictions
So
is,
we have, this is the
is expressed only in terms of inner products.
here.
So
this,
we're now
right?
ready to,
And we want to have.
kernels. And
I want my
sometimes
X a
machine
bit
learning
bigger
people sometimes call
because
this a kernel
Z
tree.
takes
Let me
some
just
time.
lay out a recipe for what this means. Step one is write your whole algorithm. In terms of Xi,
Fuck, it's so
Xj,
difficult.
in terms of inner products. And instead of carrying the superscript, Xi, Xj, I'm sometimes going to write inner product between X and Z, right? Where X and Z are supposed to be proxies for two different training examples, X and Xj, but it simplifies the notation.
X
Write a little bit.
Z
Two,
R
let there be some mapping.
supposed. Dude, my left hand sucks, so.
From your original input features X to some high
I gotta-
dimensional set of
Can you
features
read that?
5.
Okay.
And so one example.
Amir, let's go Amir.
Let's say you're trying to predict, how
Let's
many
go
prices
mental
will be
masturbator.
in the next month. So maybe X in this
Actually,
case is the
mental-
size of the house.
Left hand
Maybe it's,
mental, right
size-
hand masturbator.
Maybe X is the size of the house.
I
And
don't
so
tell you which
you
one is
could,
masturbator.
Take this 1D feature.
Yeah,
expand it into
MVD.
high dimensional
What the fuck is
feature
one
vector
sucks?
with X squared.
Well, let me practice on my
X the 4, right? So this would be one way of defining
left
high
hand for
dimensional.
a while.
Or another one could be if you have two features, X1 and X2, corresponding to the size of the house and the number of bedrooms. And you can map this to...
Wait, I cannot write with the left hand. Now I want to write.
X2, X1 times X2, X1 squared, X2, X1, X2 squared, and so on. Right? Kind of a polynomial set of features. So maybe other set of features as well. Okay. And what we'll be able to do is work with feature mappings, phi of X, where the original input X
Here.
may be 1D or 2D or whatever.
And
phi of X could be, 100,000 dimensional or infinite dimensional. But we'll be able to do this very efficiently, right? Or even infinite dimensional. Okay. So we'll get some concrete examples of this later, but I want to give you the overall recipe. And then what we're going to do is find
That's
a way
good.
to compute k of x comma z equals phi of x transpose phi of z. So this is called the
oh
kernel
shit,
function.
guys.
And what we're going to do is we'll see
It's
that
about
there are
kernels.
of k, which so
So okay, I want to learn the kernels. It's like
we're
it's.
now ready to
Where's my head? It's like okay, kernels. It's a new term. I haven't heard it before. So kernel is, what is it? Well, we had kernel in algebra, linear algebra. It was the space that is mapped to 0, and it is a linear subspace. And in linear algebra it was nice, like every vector plus a vector in kernel plus kernel would be mapped to the same thing. Let's see what is it here.
Kernels, and sometimes in machine learning people, sometimes you call this a kernel tree. And let me just lay out a recipe for what this means. Step one is write your whole algorithm.
He didn't say what many kernel is though.
In terms of xi, xj, in terms of inner products. And instead of carrying the superscript, you know, xi, xj, I'm sometimes going to write inner product between x and z, right? Where x and z are supposed to be proxies for two different training examples, xi and xj, but it simplifies the notation relatively.
Oh, I know what kernel is. Okay. If it is the same kernel in linear algebra, when we define an inner product, like on the same space, I should keep looking. Next time I will rotate the phone, by the way. So when we on a linear space that can have a norm or whatever, that we can find a define inner product, we can define more inner products. So it's not just one inner product. Once you have one inner product, probably you can have more inner products. But you had this notion of kernel, and okay, let's assume it's a finite space, or like you can define the inner product by an integral. Then you could define this g function, which was positive or non-negative, I guess positive, and then instead of writing okay x1 inner product with x2, like x11 x21 plus x1 and x2n, you say x11 x21 g1 plus x or is it g1, or is it a matrix like x11 x1n x2 and gn? That can be something, but I think it's just a special form, right? So like you have x is x1 to xn, and y is y1 to yn, right? So what you can do is, like, usually we say xy is sigma xi yi, but here you can say g is a positive, let's say positive semi-definite matrix, and positive semi-definite matrix, and then you can define the new inner product as x what is it, trace of is it trace of x n times x transpose gy? Wait, what is it? It is 1 by n by n, n by 1. So no trace, the x2gy. I guess that's it. Something like that. That is what I remember. Like, first one kernel was the null space of the mapping. Second kernel I remember can be this. I don't know which one he wants to talk about.
Two.
Or maybe there is a new one.
Let there be some mapping. your original input features x to some higher dimensional set of features phi. And so one example would be, let's say you're trying to predict housing prices or predict if a house will be sold in the next month. So maybe x in this case is the size of the house.
That's good. That's you can see what I wrote.
Yeah. Maybe x is the size of the house, and so you could take this 1D feature and expand it to a high dimensional feature vector with x squared, x cubed.
Okay. So he says there is this mapping that you have x and we take it to phi x and probably want to say we are going to inner product phi x and phi y,
which may be x1, x2.
But it is exactly the same thing because here g has a square root usually, and it is square root of gx and the square root of gy.
Feature mappings phi of x, where the original input x.
So it's a bit like here, but phi can be.
Phi of x.
If it is like 1-to-1 maybe, or I don't know, phi can be a.
But we'll be able to do this very efficiently.
Non-linear function too, right? Phi can be non-linear.
So we'll get some concrete examples of this later, but I want to give you the overall recipe.
Alright, it is pretty much the same. So, it is not for the null space, it is for the inner product.
K of x
and
equals.
That's it, let's go, let's go! Let's go, mental masturbators.
So this is called the kernel function. And what we're going to do is see that there are clever tricks so that you can compute the inner product.
Okay, the rest is what I said.
Even when phi of x and phi of z are incredibly high dimensional. Right? We'll see an example of this very, very soon. And then step 4 is
step 4.
Replace xz in algorithm.
Okay, it's the time for mental masturbation.
K of xz. Okay. Because if you could do this, then what you're doing is you're running the whole learning algorithm on this high dimensional set of features. And the problem with swapping out x for phi of x, right, is that it can be very computationally expensive.
Dude, if the two letters are similar, I can. But when it is not the same, it is
actually because I've seen like a billion features.
That's difficult.
100,000 features is actually quite a lot.
L and R.
And if you're not sharing,
wow.
this is a lot.
A. B.
And
I can write them.
This is quite computationally expensive to carry around these 100,000 or
D. Look, all of them are writing good.
But that's what you would do if you were to swap in phi of x, in the naive, straightforward way for x. But what we'll see is that if you can compute k of xz, then you could, because you've written your whole algorithm just in terms of inner products, then you don't ever need to explicitly compute phi of x. You can always just compute these kernels.
Oh, wait, what? So it says we don't need to compute phi of x. We can directly compute the inner product.
But even by today's standards, 100,000 features is actually quite a lot. And if you're not sharing set, just 100,000 this is
look, this is pretty good. G.
And the problem of using this is quite computationally expensive. These 100,000.
Fuck, like
100 million dimensional.
I fucked up. Let's see. Okay, it's good.
But that's what you would do. You would just swap in phi of x, naive, straightforward way for x. But
I cannot write the ones that have a point.
Because you've written your whole algorithm just in terms of inner products, then you don't ever need to explicitly.
Oh, I can write this way too. Wait. So I can mirror them too. Right? A. Alright, let's see. Okay, fuck, not this.
Let me get to that later. I want to go for some kernels and we'll talk about bias theory and spray on Wednesday.
Okay, yeah.
I think the no free lunch theorem is a fascinating theorem concept, but I think that it's been, I don't know, it's been less useful actually, because I think we had inductive biases that turned out to be useful. There's a famous theorem in learning theory called no free lunch. Like
I can write A.
That basically says that
so if they
worst
are
case
mirror,
do not work.
I can write.
So for any learning algorithm, I can come up with some data distribution, some new learning algorithm size. That's roughly what the free lunch theorem proved about like 20 years ago. But it turns out most of the time, the universe is not that hostile to us. So yeah, so that's the learning algorithm turned out okay.
Wait, what?
Alright, let's go through one example of miracles. So for this example, let's say that your operational interface was three-dimensional, x1, x2, x3. And let's say I'm going to choose the feature mapping phi of x to be all sort of pairwise monomial terms. So I'm going to choose x1,
I think mirroring works, writing the same letter works. Let's write the AB. AB is difficult.
And there are a couple duplicates. So x1, x3 is equal to x3, x1, but it generally writes it out this way. And so notice that if x is in Rn,
my shoulders are tired.
Right, that
give
phi
me some
of x
time.
is in Rn squared. Right, so going from 3-dimensional features to 9-dimensional, and I'm using small numbers for illustration. In practice, think of x as 1,000-dimensional, and so
1,000.
Well, think of this as
1,000.
This is now.
I cannot think of 1,000.
Features is much bigger. And then similarly, phi of z is going to be z1, 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 z2.
Wait, when did I start this? Oh, okay, 30 minutes. Let's go for 14 more minutes.
So
I don't want to spend all my life learning machine learning. By the way, next semester starts, I will go at the course. Either go to this one or programming. I guess I will go programming and machine learning. To be honest, if by the time the semester starts, which is early February or January, then, and if we promise to show up every day and learn coding or machine learning, I think anyway we will be fine. Anyway we will be fine. I hate to do the optimization. Who cares? I will go coding. Demetrius, dude, if one day I can bring Demetrius here, he is the #1 MIT dude I want to bring here. Well, top 4 MIT people I want to bring. Top 4.
So there's phi of x transpose phi of z. And
top 2.
What I'm going to prove is that
he's top 2. Definitely Demetrius is top 2. I want to bring him.
And the cool thing is that, remember, x is n-dimensional.
He told me take the course.
N-dimensional. So
not take it, but at least learn it. Is basic CS algorithm stuff.
Because taking x transpose,
at least it can be a reminder part of it. And then
you take that number. X transpose z is a real number, and you just square that number.
What is
so
ON? Wait. ON. Where
so
did
let's
that?
prove that x transpose z is equal to. Well, let me prove this step. Right. And so x transpose z squared, that's equal to.
Why does it have a
so
square?
This is x transpose z. Right, and then times. This is also x transpose z. So this formula is x transpose z squared.
K of, I thought k of x and z is the inner product, but here. is the squared version of it.
Xi, Zi, Xj, Zj.
Oh, it's an example.
And this in turn is,
alright.
You know, sum of
so I will bring the matrix hopefully.
Sum of the j of Xi, Xj times.
Oh, the matrix told me to take the coding class.
Zj.
But also another friend told me the execution. Okay, left hand A, right hand B.
And multiplying Xi, Xj.
What the fuck?
With the corresponding Zi, Zj, and adding that up. But of course, if you were to compute phi of x transpose phi of z, what you do is you take this and multiply with that, and then add it to the sum, then take this and multiply with that, and add it to the sum.
Dude, isn't it fucking crazy?
This and multiply with that.
I can write a B easily. There is no thought here. But with two hands.
So that's why this formula is just, you know,
okay, let's
washing down these two this and
just stretch paper, not think of exactly what we want to do. And write B.
Which is exactly phi of x transpose.
Okay, that works.
So this proves that you've turned what was previously an order n squared time calculation into an order n time calculation, which means that if n was 10,000, instead of needing to
it says like it's simplified.
What was previously an
simplified.
So multiply, add it up, which is exactly.
What is the final?
Phi transpose.
Exactly he was giving an example that you don't need to.
Okay. So this proves that
make phi of x and phi of z vectors. You can compute the kernel and inner product faster. Sometimes you have the kernel.
If n was 10,000, instead of needing to manipulate 100,000 dimensional vectors to come up with these, oh, this is my fill buzzing. This is really loud. Okay. Instead of needing to manipulate
left hand A
dimensional
and right hand scratching.
Now, a few other examples of kernels.
Well, first of all, left hand A is not very good here. What is an easier? L. L is easy. But L is inside B. I don't like that. I don't like that.
If you choose this kernel, so
okay, I can write A.
X comma Z equals.
And it doesn't take.
Z.
Like it is difficult. It's not easy.
If we now add.
Let's be honest.
Plus C there, where C is a constant.
Left hand, so I need to look at it.
That corresponds to modifying your features as follows.
Even without looking, I can write it. Alright, I can write it.
Pairs of these things. If you add plus C there, it corresponds to adding x1, x2, x3.
And now,
to your set of features. Technically,
now this one scratches. A.
That should root 2C, root 2C.
Fuck!
Root 2C.
Dude, what is happening?
You could prove this yourself, but it turns out that if this is the definition of phi of x, and make the same change to phi of z, so root 2c, c1, and so on, then if you take the inner product of these, then it can be computed as.
By the way, every time I try to finish the A, this hand also gets off the board.
Between the binomial terms, the xi, xj, compared to the first degree terms, the x1 or x2.
Oh, we can add a c.
Other examples.
Okay, I like examples. Let's.
We now add a plus c there, where c is a constant. So c is just some fixed row number. That corresponds to modifying your features as follows. Where instead of just this, binomial.
What kind of an inner product is that?
If you add plus c there, it corresponds to adding x1, x2, x3.
Well, it's not linear. Okay.
Technically, there's actually weighting on this.
So it doesn't matter if it is like linear or not.
It has a constant c there as well. you can prove this yourself. But it turns out that if this is your new definition for phi of x, and make the same change to phi of z, so root 2c z1 and so on, then if you take the inner product of these, then it can be computed as this. Right?
Wow. So sometimes we have kernels. What he's saying is that sometimes we have kernels, we may not know the phi. Well, if you have the phi, it's easy to make the kernel. Maybe it's not easy to find the closed form of the kernel, but it is easy to, we have the kernel. But sometimes you have the kernel and finding a phi that makes that kernel. First of all, probably that phi is not unique. Of course it's not, because whatever that phi is, negative phi also works. What I want to say is, do we care about phi? Oh no, okay. Maybe we don't care about phi, but if there is no phi, how can we, and we have a closed form function that looks simple, like here we have k of xz, xz plus c squared. If we have that situation, and we are given a function k, can we say if it is a kernel or not? It should be always positive. X and y, if we substitute them, is it? Yeah, these are the probably.
Constant c, it trades off the relative weighting between the binomial terms, the xi, xj, compared to the first degree terms, the x1 or x2 or x3. Other examples. If you choose this, to the power of d, right? Notice that this still is an order n time computation, right? X transpose z takes order n time, you add a number to it, and you take this order d, so you can compute this in order n time. But this corresponds to now phi of x as all, the number of terms turns out to be n plus d choose d, but it doesn't matter. It turns out this contains all features
to the power of d.
Monomials.
Up to d over...
Up to order d. So by which I mean, if let's say d is equal to 5, right? Then this contains, then phi of x contains all the features of the form x1, x2, x5, x17,
who proved it?
Right, this is a 5th degree thing.
That's a computer science shit, dude.
x3,
like combinatorics.
This is also a 5th order polynomial, 5th order polynomial.
I don't want to look at my phone.
And so if you,
it's really interesting.
Kernel,
do you think there is any point in finding the phi? What is the point of finding the phi? Well, if you have phi, we can find the kernel all the time. And I think even then it is nice. Even then it is nice to... What is nice? It is nice to have a closed form. Maybe just doing the inner product doesn't give us a simple form for k kernel. But if you have k, you are already good. Why should we find phi? For the last part of left hand phi, right hand k. This is for this part. Honestly, this part is for this part. Did you see that? I don't know if you can see this. But yeah, this part of the k made me write this part of the phi, which is not a part of the phi. Interesting. Practice at home. These are mental masturbation practices I give you every session. Do it 3 times a week, by the end of the year, your two brains will be you will have two brains, whatever. Alright, I will stop this video. It was fun.